So today I'm going to be covering something that genuinely caught me off guard. I really did not expect to make a video on this today, but apparently a new game has been announced called Deathground, and it is a horror dinosaur survival game. And it is made by a small group of people who have actually worked on bigger games that have released a trailer onto YouTube. And after watching the trailer, you get this Dead by Daylight and Dino Crisis vibe to the game. It actually looks pretty cool, and it looks like it has a lot of potential, but I want to take a close look at it today. That's the whole point of this video. At first I thought I was just gonna have to do an internet dive, because that's usually what I have to do. In case you haven't been following, I have this little series here on the channel where I just call it What Is, and it basically is just me kind of talking about upcoming dinosaur games. And what I typically have to do, because there's not a whole lot of information about these kind of games that I cover, because a lot of them are just smaller indie games, is I have to do like this deep dive into the internet. But luckily, the people that are doing this game have a Kickstarter page for it. And that's basically what I'm going to be looking at today. All the information that you are going to be seeing today is going to be straight from the Kickstarter page. The Kickstarter page literally has everything that we would want to know about the game. It talks about the maps, some of the features that we will get at the game, some of the stuff that we'll get at launch. It talks about the characters and the dinosaurs, and it also talks about their stretch goals, which they have a list of, and it also has their main goal, which I think is $100,000. I could be wrong. I need to look at the page again. And of course, they have a list of perks depending on how much money you're willing to give them on this Kickstarter. So yeah, I'm just going to be looking straight at the Kickstarter, so let's just get to it. So the first thing that they start off with is basically just a brief summary of what the game is going to be. This is what they say. Deathground is a co-op online multiplayer survival horror game that throws players into a desperate battle for survival against deadly AI dinosaurs. Now I'm going to be completely honest, I am not a huge fan of the Dead by Daylight type of games, Friday the 13th. I'm into the survival horror genre because I have played games like those before, and I've actually really liked them, despite the fact that I'm secretly a little bitch, guys. I can't handle games like those. I get scared pretty easily. I don't get scared, I just get jump scared pretty easily. But regardless, I love these type of games. I love the whole survival horror genre, but it just sounds like it's gonna be almost more of the type of like Dead by Daylight kind of games, and I'm just not a huge fan of those kind of games. Regardless, because it has dinosaurs in it, I'm willing to give it a try. And I'm not sure if it's exactly going to be like those kind of games. It just sounds like you're going to be a person inside this situation, or in a facility where you're just running away from dinosaurs. You have to find resources and maybe somehow kill the dinosaurs, or use those resources to try to find a way out and escape the dinosaurs. It doesn't really sound like you're going to be able to switch sides, which is kind of what those kind of like the Dead by Daylight games are about. Just those type of games where you're able to play both the characters and the enemies, which in this case are the dinosaurs. They go on to explain that in this game, teamwork and communication is a very crucial thing. So obviously, when you're going to play, I don't know if this is going to be just multiplayer, or if they're going to have maybe like a single player mode, but if it is going to be multiplayer, obviously communication and teamwork is going to be a big thing, and it usually is in these types of games, which I think helps with the intensity and the suspense, mainly because you're not only watching other people in these situations die, but you have to work together. You're put in a position where you have to talk to each other and make sure that each person is doing something to help you guys escape from this specific situation. And if one fails, that could be a detriment to the rest of the team. And of course, with that, you have maps and environments that are obviously going to be dark and ominous and creepy, and you're going to have to work through that while there's dinosaurs crawling all over the place in order to escape. And on top of that, the game obviously is going to have some very intense moments, because not only will you have to fight off these dinosaurs at times, but it looks like there are going to be some stealth-based missions, or at least some stealth-based situations, because I don't think this is going to be a mission thing. I don't think that's that kind of game. I think it's specifically going to be based around you just trying to escape the dinosaurs. And obviously in that period in which you're trying to escape them, you're obviously going to run into them, and there's multiple ways that you can approach this encounter. You can try to hide and sneak your way past the dinosaurs, or you can fight them off, or just run away. You know, there's multiple options, fight or flight, I guess. So that should be fun. That sounds like something that I would definitely enjoy. And it seems like the dev team is really focused on trying to make this a very realistic and terrifying experience for you, because on top of all of that, they're making unpredictable AI dinosaurs, which honestly just fits this game perfectly. Most of the time we're given games where the dinosaurs are just kind of stuck in this constant loop of doing the same thing over and over and over again. They have the same basic animations, the same basic walk pattern. But in a game like this, it just fits so perfectly. And not just that, but it'll definitely give us moments that I feel like, I guess the best way to describe a moment that we would have in this game is probably what Muldoon felt right before he got mauled by a velociraptor in the original Jurassic Park movie. So moving on from that, it looks like they're also going to have special characters with their own unique set of skills and I guess maybe weaponry, I'm assuming, or maybe not weaponry, but maybe skills to obtain weapons, because I feel like this is the kind of game where you're not really given a weapon at hand, but you have to try to be creative and maybe look around in your environment in search of a weapon or something to defend yourself with against these dinosaurs, which is obviously where the combat is going to come in place, because they do describe that there will be some combat gameplay in this game. It's not just going to be stealth. It's not just going to be just ominous, slow pacing kind of game. There is definitely going to be some very intense and fast moments, and not just running but fighting the dinosaurs off. So that's really cool. And I'm guessing with the characters, they're each gonna be able to complete a specific task that is scattered around the map in which you're playing in. That'll help you get a step closer to maybe gaining that resource or to escaping whatever facility or map that you're in, away from the dinosaurs. And just to let you guys know, I am just kind of reading this Kickstarter page as I'm recording this, because I want to be able to give you guys my thoughts as I'm going down the list. And the reason why I tell you that is because I literally just said all of that about the character traits and how it's going to play into the game. And I'm just now reading that they have this section called the game loop that is actually a pretty interesting system that they're going to have in their game. I'll just go ahead and just read out this point. As players, you form a group of professional hunters and survivalists on a mission to Deathground to retrieve high-value loot. You will be given a start point and an extraction point. You must collect whatever loot you have been assigned and then reach the extraction location. How effective you are in completing your assigned objectives will impact your ability to level up and unlock new content. So it's kind of close to what I was kind of talking about earlier, and apparently each map is filled with these items that you are assigned to get. And these items could actually be used to help you survive. They could be used against the dinosaurs. And it seems like some of them will have consequences if used. Like, for example, making too many noise will attract dinosaurs. So weapons like guns, while strong, will make a lot of noise and cause unwanted attention by other dinosaurs. So maybe at hand, it'll definitely be a good weapon to use, but it will leave you vulnerable after taking that first shot, because you are then exposed to the other dinosaurs who have heard that shot and will now go and hunt you down. So yeah, that seems like a pretty good system. I like the fact that they're trying to be a bit realistic with it, because it just adds on to the realism of the situation, I feel like. And on top of that, you can also do things like distract the dinosaurs, so you're able to maybe sneak by them, so you don't have to use weapons like guns. And speaking of the dinosaurs, there's only 4 that they've actually revealed so far. They are working to add more dinosaurs in, but I'm not sure if they're going to add them in between now and the launch date or sometime after the launch date. But the dinosaurs themselves are the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Allosaurus, the Velociraptor, and Compsognathus. So yeah, maybe not the most original dinosaur choices for a game, but according to what they have said on their Kickstarter page, they are planning on having each dinosaur to have unique behaviors. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Even though there's not a whole lot of dinosaurs and it's, pretty generic choices, but those unique behaviors will most likely add on to the dinosaurs being unpredictable, which will add on to the horror aspect of the game. So to me, that's definitely redeemable. With that said, the developers, which I haven't even mentioned their name and we're like 10 minutes into the video, their name is Jaws Drop Games. They actually want Deathground to be more of a long-term project. So they're here for the long haul. They're making that very clear, because one of the things that they actually have a list of things that they want to add over time, which includes more features, more dinosaurs, more game modes too, which is pretty cool. And as a part of this list, it looks like, I'm just going to read it off here, it can include things like new types of deadly dinosaurs that push the game system into different directions, new player abilities and character classes, new maps and zones, ranked multiplayer seasons, and different game modes that move the base survival horror formula off axis and could include more PvP aspects. So I gotta respect them for at least wanting to take the game in a different direction other than just the base survival horror aspect, because the thing is, it just seems like one of those games where if you don't include like the game modes, would be the kind of game that would seem more repetitive and boring before too long kind of game. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't particularly like games like Dead by Daylight. I got bored of it pretty quick. I just don't really like games like that, so I have to hand it to them. I'm really happy that they're planning on maybe adding more game modes to, I guess, make the game last longer in terms of enjoyment. Not just that, but just to offer something different. That way it doesn't feel completely repetitive. And to me, I like that. The game will be exclusive to PC. They're going to make it available on Steam and only Steam, it looks like. It doesn't seem like they're going to plan for any console release, which is a shame because, I'm more of a console player than a PC one. But honestly, I really don't mind. If it means to play this game on the PC platform, then I'm okay with that. But other than that, they also have a list of stretch goals and a tier list. Basically, depending on how much you donate to them, you get more perks and more rewards for doing so. There's actually a lot to them, so I'm not even going to go over them. If you guys want to take a look at them for yourself, I will link the Kickstarter page down in the description below so you guys can check them out. So now let's talk more about the dev team. The dev team is made up of a bunch of people that have come from different backgrounds in gaming. These developers are not new to this profession. These guys know what they're doing because they have worked on other projects that you may know about. Stuff like Amnesia, Alien Isolation, Depth, RuneScape, and one that I'm personally familiar with, Soma. And that's just to list off a few. There's several more games that these guys have been a part of. It leads me to believe that these guys know what they're doing and that we can actually trust them, not just in terms of us giving them money and donating towards their project, but also trusting them in the fact that they could actually make a good game. There have been several examples in the past of people that we have trusted to make good games, and they just didn't really fully deliver on it. And the fact that it's happened a lot, it makes people less hopeful in the fact that there will be actual good, decent dinosaur games out there. And I'm just hoping that they actually take the time and effort into making that. And speaking of time, they also have a timeline on their Kickstarter page, pretty much showing where they're at the moment and when they're hoping to release the game fully. And that won't be until the second quarter of 2022. Currently, they're in the early third quarter of 2020, where they have started their Kickstarter campaign, where they'll hopefully be able to reach enough money for full development. Up until now, they've just self-funded for pre-production and their demo. I'm not sure I don't think their demo is released yet. I think it will be at some point, but for now, we just have this. And this is pretty much most of the Kickstarter. They do go more in depth in some parts, but I think this is a good summary of the entire Kickstarter page. There are some things that I decided to leave out, so if you want to take a closer look at some of the things I summarized or left out, then I will leave the link to the Kickstarter down in the description below. Definitely check them out. I think they are definitely worth checking out just to see if maybe you're interested in a game like this. To be honest, if all of this holds up, which I wouldn't see why it wouldn't, all this information I feel like is enough for us to see that this is a good game with a lot of potential, with a bunch of good people with actual experience behind it. I only have high hopes for this game, to be honest. So I'm genuinely hoping that this game turns out good, and when it does come out, we will definitely play it. I will definitely do a review on it, but I will also try to keep up to date with any news regarding this game, because this looks like something that is just too good to miss out on. it looks like a game that, regardless of the type, yes, it does sound like one of those kind of multiplayer online games that I'm just not too interested in. And it doesn't seem like they're gonna have much of a story to this game, but regardless, I still want to give it a try. I want to see if it ends up being a good game. But yeah, until then, that's pretty much all I have to say for now on Deathground. If you guys enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Deathground updates and stuff. Random stuff around revolving around Deathground and other cool dinosaur stuff I post here on the channel. That's pretty much all I have to say for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please have a nice day.